Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I'm Jeremy Robinson.
I am Mike Mick.
And we're recording this way later than normal.
Yes, way later.
So Mike was going to come over at 8 and bring Firehouse. And he did. But right before that, somebody decided to ignore a stop sign and run
And physics.
No.
Well,
physics obeyed.
No, he ignored them.
You can't.
He tried to ignore physics.
You can't ignore physics.
No, you can't.
He tried.
Those are laws that you can't get around. But he tried.
So, and then he slammed into the back of my roommate's car that was parked on the curb and moved it probably...
Moved at a good distance.
30 feet, 40 feet.
Yeah. Moved at a good distance.
Yeah. So I just spent the last, I don't know what time it is. The last almost hour and a half dealing with that.
Yeah.
Then we're like, well, we can't do everything. So I'm going to go inside and eat. If you guys need anything, come knock on the door. And they did not knock on the door. And
Firehouse was a good sandwich. Yeah. It's the first time I had it. Although
of course they fucked it up for Mike.
They fucked mine up, yeah.
Mine was good. So
they fucked it up in a weird way. I mean, how do you put mayonnaise on half a sandwich that says no mayo?
Yeah, on the wrong bread.
On the wrong bread, yeah.
At least they didn't give you the pickle.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get the pickle. Because the reason I don't get the pickle is sometimes the pickle's in there and I get the taste on the sandwich.
No, next time just have them put it in mine because those pickles are fucking amazing.
Yeah, after I said no pickle, I thought I probably should have gotten it so then you could have had it.
Because it's not, they don't give you enough pickle. They give you enough pickle for half.
Yeah.
And then I need another pickle for the other half.
I used to always give the pickle to my mom because she loves pickles, but I don't live in Vegas anymore. She passed away, so she doesn't need a pickle anymore. But, so did you have any notes?
No.
No. I did have a note. I saw something on Facebook. I've seen it a few times where people take these Brita water filters and they put liquor in them.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people do that. And
first of all, I if I'm drinking liquor, it's because I probably like the flavor. So,
yeah.
If Scotch, I like Scotch. So I'm not going to buy it. Like this guy I saw do it today. He bought Johnny Walker Blue to put into a Brita to take out the flavor.
Wow.
Why wouldn't he just buy cheap Scotch? Why would he buy the more expensive one?
Yeah, just get Evan Williams.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it. You're trying to get rid of the flavor anyway. What does it matter?
Wow, Johnny Blue.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that, but
it's pretty good.
I've heard.
It's a blend, but I prefer a single malt, but I enjoyed Johnny Blue. I was given half a bottle at one point. I enjoyed it. Huh. But no, he also did some other liquors. He did vodka, which vodka doesn't really have a lot of flavor. He did Belvedere vodka.
He's picking the most expensive of different shit to try.
Yeah. And the other one, the one which always drives me nuts, is when he opens it up, it's Jaeger. He's like, "Ooh, black licorice." I don't think it tastes like black licorice.
I don't either.
And he poured that in the Brita also. He had multiple Britas.
I would hope he had multiple Britas and wasn't just pouring 8 things into one.
But yeah, he drank the Johnny Blue out of the Brita, and then he went over and he grabbed the bottle and he drank out of that, to see if it actually worked. And he's like, he almost gagged on the Johnny Blue. He doesn't even like Scotch. He's like, I don't like whiskey. So you buy the expensive stuff to show how much you don't like it. Good. That's
thinking.
Great. Yeah.
Did it show him try the Jaeger and?
Oh yeah, he tried them all.
Else?
Yeah.
What did he say about a flavorless Jaeger?
He said he liked the Jaeger. He said
what color was it? Clear?
No, none of it. All of it still had the color.
I thought that was one of the things on
No, the Scotch looked like Scotch.
Oh.
Jaeger still looked like Jaeger.
I thought that was one of the things that all the people that did those videos online were doing was they were like, look, it comes out clear and it's this.
See, the only ones I've ever seen before this one that they always did clear liquors. I'd seen them do a Bacardi and some kind of vodka.
Maybe that's what it is, and I just haven't seen the videos in so long.
And I saw one where they were showing it. They were saying it makes the vodka better because it filters it.
That's what they do with the fucking vodka plant, bro.
Yeah,
they
but
probably filter it.
But let's face it, Belvedere is filtered a little bit more often than
Sky.
Yeah, Sky or Skoal.
Skoal.
SKOL. It's a cheap vodka.
I thought that was the dip.
Yeah, that's also a dip. There's also a dip called that.
Oh, yeah. I definitely would trust that vodka then. Jesus Christ.
I don't know that they're the same company. I just know that there's a vodka called Skull, and it's just cheap, nasty. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, it's like...
If you're going to go out and kill some scorpions by spraying them, I'd use that one. Yeah, that's about it. Which I do have one other thing I want to mention that was interesting. I know you're not a pro wrestling fan, and I am, but there was a huge pro wrestling event recently. Like the biggest that this company's ever had. It's not WWE, it's AEW. And it's a big event, like huge. It's their biggest show. They had over 80,000 people at Wembley Stadium in London. And it's just massive.
That's where I was hoping that was, just from the name.
Everything, yeah. But everything, they're so excited. They're breaking records. They're doing all this. And then one of the wrestlers decides to get into a fight backstage again. He'd gotten back from suspension recently because of a fight backstage. So he gets in a fight back there. Now that's the only thing anybody's talking about with this huge show, with these big numbers and breaking records, is the fact that there was a fight.
I mean, that they're expected to be a fight at a wrestling match?
No, not a real fight. There's supposed to be a predetermined outcome.
Hear that, everybody? Mike said it's staged.
Well, I did. I said it's predetermined, the outcome. It's a story like any entertainment. I mean, we were just watching Asuka. They already know what's going to happen at the end of that.
It's not Asuka. It's Ahsoka.
Oh, Ahsoka. Well, that person. Or whatever she is.
Well, see, it depends on when they finish the writing. If they didn't finish the writing by the time the writer's strike happened, they don't know what's going to be at the end of it.
But I'm saying that there's an idea.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The pro wrestlers, they're very athletic, and what they do, they run the risk of getting injured all the time. I mean, some of them get seriously injured. I don't know if you ever heard of Draws, but he was a former NFL player. He been in WWE, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. So it's serious, but it's also very entertaining. And but the one wrestler who got into the fight, he ended up getting fired over it. It was his second suspension. And the other one, his name is Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Luke Perry's son.
Oh, that makes
You don't know who Luke Perry is?
No.
You never heard of 90210?
I know what 90210 is. Luke Perry sounds semi-familiar.
He was on there. He's also been in other things. He's in a movie called 8 Seconds. He had a movie come out. I can't remember what it was. It was right after he died. He died since we've been working at the same place, since we've been living in this area.
Huh.
But yeah, it's just he's actually a really good wrestler. I would hate to see him lose his job because he's talented. He's a young wrestler who's learning, and he's really good. I was impressed at how good he is.
Yeah.
And he's actually in a movie. It's
The Expendables 18.
No, actually his father is in a documentary involving wrestling. David Arquette went all over just wrestling everywhere and learning how to wrestle for a year. And he did a death match in California, and a glass tube got broken over him, and it actually severed his artery. Luke Perry was with them on the way to the hospital to get him there safely.
Well, I mean,
so he could live.
It was in the name.
Yeah.
Have a death match, you're probably going to kill somebody.
Yeah, you would think, but no, normally that doesn't happen.
Well, you need to change the name then.
But you shouldn't be hitting. You shouldn't purposely be hitting. You're getting hit with fluorescent tubes. That's what cut him. But he actually had a wrestling ring in his backyard, and Jungle Boy would go there and work out in his backyard.
Huh.
I thought that was cool. Not everybody has a wrestling ring just sitting in their backyard.
Well, I mean, not everybody has a trampoline in their backyard either.
Yeah.
Some people have some things and other people have others. Like I had that Men in Black flower for a while, which apparently it doesn't like the sun. So the only reason that Men in Black flower grew that tall was because of all the rest of the weeds around it, shielding it from the sun.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I cut all the rest of them down and left that, it started dying rapidly. So like from the top down, it started dying.
Yeah.
And then it would sprout new flowers a little lower. And then those would die, and then it'd sprout new flowers a little lower. I don't know if it's like fully dead now or it's still got a couple more blooms left, but...
Well, now the Men in Black don't have to come in.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything about it.
Fixed it.
Don't want to have to use a little flashlight on you. Next week I'll be over here and mention the flower, and you'll be like, what flower? I don't know what you're talking about.
Burning Man just happened.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, they already there's already been a lockdown.
Yeah, there's still people stuck out there.
Yeah. I saw some people in Reno today that were driving that got out of there, but yeah.
I saw a couple people the last day of work that were at the gas station. It's like there was people leaving early before.
Yeah, some people made it out.
If people don't know what happened, Burning Man is this massive festival thing where people do whatever they want.
And they call it Counterculture Festival.
That's what it's called?
That's what they called it on the news when I saw things about it.
That sounds dumb.
Yeah.
But they have it out at, what's it called? Like Black Rock, Nevada. As far as I know, nothing to do with the investment firm.
Yeah.
But it's some like super weird silt dust area on the ground instead of like dirt, like most of the Nevada desert.
Yeah.
It's some kind of weird powdery dust dirt.
Yeah, and it just coats people's cars.
So, like, if I would ever go, I would want to bring like 3 or 4 air filters for my car, is how dusty that shit is and how much it gets everywhere. Because if your car can't breathe, your engine's going to get fucked up.
And you might want to get a bunch of chamois, too.
Well, like, and because it rained multiple times, so like it rained, I think 2 days, 3 days before everybody started trying to go out there.
Yeah.
And they closed off the entrance to, I think it's called Playa, which is stupid.
Yeah.
So they had Playa closed, so nobody can get out there.
Yeah.
But people were still trying to and got stuck, massively stuck, and tow trucks couldn't even get there to get them out.
Yeah. Because
the tow trucks would get stuck too.
Well, they had more rain in this last week than normally happens in the course of months.
Yeah. And then it just rained again, like right before it was over. So there was people, I seen videos of people with like
plastic bags
all the way up to their shins walking around. I seen a video of Diplo and Chris Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say, Diplo and Chris Rock made it out.
They got a ride out on in the back of somebody's pickup truck.
Yeah.
I like how they were like, got a fan offered us a ride, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's great. Like, what's your fan's name? He doesn't want to get known?
Yeah.
Like, they just showed him and Chris Rock. Chris Rock's like, I could use a cold brew. Like,
yeah.
Cold brew. And that was it.
Diplo didn't really say anything.
No, he didn't. It's
funny, somebody that we work with, or works at the same place as us, he says to me, he's talking to me one day, and he's like, you know who Diplo is? I'm like, yeah, because I'm from Vegas, and he performed there regularly.
Yeah.
I saw his picture on things all the time. It would be hard not to know who he is. Plus, he's also had, songs that people have heard.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, to be fair, I don't know a lot of bands.
Yeah, but it's funny because, like I said, I worked on the Strip. I used to see his picture all the time.
Yeah, being from Vegas, you definitely know who Diplo is.
Yeah. I lived there for a little while.
So, yeah, Burning Man is, I guess those people are going to have to
they had to postpone
extend their vacation.
They actually had to postpone the burning of the man. The statue, they call it the man. They usually would have done it on Sunday, but I saw something on the news yesterday. They postponed it till today to burn the man. I'm like, wait, you can't burn me. I'm the man. But, yeah.
Well, and Rib Cook-Off was this last week.
Yeah. I want to go to, they have one in Kansas City where it's out like in a field, and it's like blocks of just tents.
I would want to do that. They had like 17 vendors here.
And like tents, and it's huge tents, and it's just blocks and blocks.
I think it was like $140 for all you can eat.
Yeah.
Like, bro, they're like, that's all you can drink too. And I'm like, I I don't give a shit if it's all you can eat, all you can drink. $140 fucking dollars.
That seems pricey.
Yeah, I'm like, if I wanted all you can drink for $140, I could go get 2 handles of anything.
Yeah.
For $30.
Yeah.
For not bottom shelf shit, but not great.
Yeah.
And I guarantee by the end of those 2 bottles, that would be all I can drink.
Well, we had barbecue today.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah.
It didn't cost that much.
And then still, like, I don't understand, like, the lunch tickets they had, which got you, I think, a half rack from certain vendors, was like $50. I'm like, bro, that's a lot of fucking money.
A half rack for $50?
A half rack for $50 fucking dollars.
I could go to Lucille's in Vegas. I still would spend a lot of money, but I'd get more than just a half rack.
Yeah.
I used to love eating at Lucille's.
And that's, I think, BJ's one.
I haven't been to that one. I haven't been to BJ's yet.
And that's, the news article of them winning was like, these ribs are so good, I could seriously eat a rack by myself.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, if you're hungry enough, you can fucking eat any, like, what?
I thought that's how you're supposed to eat a rack of ribs, is by yourself.
I'm like, I don't understand.
I eat a half a rack. I'm looking for the other half. There's an appetizer. Where's the rest?
Yeah, so people need to learn new hooks for articles.
But Lucille's they have such good apple butter. Oh my God.
Apple butter's really good.
And to the district, I just absolutely love it. They actually have more than one location. They have one, I think it's at Red Rock.
I need to go get more bread because I have apple butter that I haven't even used. I haven't even opened it.
Yeah. I need to get more bread because I started having peanut butter and jelly again recently and I ran out of bread.
I need to go get peanut butter. Peanut butter prices are fucking stupid now.
I've always found, like, especially when I lived in Vegas, I haven't looked lately, but it was always cheaper at Winco than it was at the other stores for some reason.
Yeah, well, I mean, since I went and got the 12 pounds at Grocery Outlet for like $3.
Yeah.
It's been not okay for prices.
Yeah.
Well, and they've gone up. So, like, the regular, like, I don't know, Jif or whatever fucking company, like $6 or $7, not even for the big tub, for the little guy. Like, Jesus Christ.
How much are peanuts?
That's what I'm saying.
You can just, grind some up.
Yeah, I'll just butter it myself. I've been thinking about that. That and peanut milk. Like, there's almond milk, there's cashew milk, there's everything else milk. You can make peanut milk, but nobody sells it.
I've never heard of peanut milk.
Exactly. So there's something that we can start trying and sell and
perfect.
And then retire.
Some offense intended. Peanut milk.
I don't think we would attach the podcast name to that.
But we could advertise it on the podcast. I mean, even Paul, Jake Paul or
Logan Paul,
whichever one, they're interchangeable. He has the Prime drink. He doesn't call it his podcast. He doesn't call it his name. He calls it Prime. I've actually had the powder. So bad. I didn't buy it. Somebody gave it to me at work. It was not good.
The energy drinks they're okay.
It was like bomb pop.
It's an energy drink, and then the like Gatorade knockoff.
Yeah.
Tastes more like Body Armor, but it's not the best either.
I had Body Armor last week. I'd bought 2 bottles of it because it was cheaper than usual. It wasn't just a sign that said on sale. I recognized that the price was lower than before. Yeah. So, but one was watermelon and one was cherry lime. I'm like, perfect. I like both of these flavors. I drank the cherry lime. I'm like, this does not taste like cherry or lime.
The strawberry banana is really good.
I had that one. That one wasn't bad. I had that one in the past, but the watermelon, no. I ended up just buying some actual watermelon. That's much better. And it's got water in it. It's definitely hydrating.
Oh, yeah.
Love watermelon.
Watermelon's good. It's been a long time since I've just eaten it. I don't know that I've ever bought a watermelon.
No, I have.
Now that I think about it.
It's funny. I like watermelon so much. Even when I was a kid and I was getting allowance, sometimes I'd take some of my allowance and go to the grocery store, walk to it, buy myself like a half a watermelon. I'm sure there's not a lot of kids did that, but
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, even then, food was the thing for me, especially watermelon.
Huh.
I like bananas too, though. I like a lot of fruit.
I like fruit. It just, I don't know. Most of the time, I don't get it, and if I get it, I kind of put off eating it for a couple of days, and it's like, I'm still gonna eat it. I still eat it, but it's not as good as it should have been.
My problem is I like bananas, and bananas don't keep
At all.
And then they tell you to get them when they're green, but yeah, then
And then it's 2 days.
I
2 days till they're brown.
I want to be able to eat one, you know. So
Yeah.
I kind of want it to be ready to go.
Yeah, I'll normally get like a heavily green, like, so one of them is like a yellow and green, and then the rest of them are green. I'll get home, eat the yellow and green one, and then within 2 days, they're all looking like they should be banana bread.
Nowadays I only buy like 2 or 3 of them, so then I'm eating them pretty quick. I'm not buying a whole bundle like
A bundle?
I don't know what to call it.
A bunch.
A bunch. Okay, I'm not buying a whole bunch. But last time I did eat them all, so that was a good thing. Didn't make any banana bread, although I do love banana bread.
I do too. But my oven has issues. Like, I would start making brownies more often. I think that a lot of people like my brownies, and I've been paid for them before.
I had some good brownies this week.
So I wouldn't mind starting something like that, but the oven is kind of a guessing game.
Yeah.
I've already replaced the temp sensor. I don't know what else to replace. I've replaced like 2 or 3 different things. And most of the time I have to put it to like 475 or 480 to hit like 430 or 420.
Yeah.
And then it's like 430 to be at 380. So it's not even a steady jump.
Yeah.
It's anywhere between like 30 and 75 degrees off. And then sometimes it'll just like error out and stop heating.
That's not good.
No.
Yeah, things don't get cooked like that.
No. So I just haven't used the fucking oven in a really long time.
I had like I said, a good brownie and a good cookie at work this week. It's always a good thing.
Nice. From the Soul Bakery?
No.
People gave you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's where I was trying to get to. And
Yeah.
You're withholding information.
Yeah, somebody baked it and gave me it.
Huh.
Mac made it.
I figured.
Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah, he told me about it, that he was going to, and then he came over. We weighed on a little scale near me, too. It's like 180 grams.
Yeah, he gave me brownies. I don't think I ate them. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, I ate them. I definitely ate it. He gave it to me right before break, so I took it with me.
He gave it to me right before I went home. Like a week or 2 ago. So I was like, I put it in the fridge, and I don't know. I might have thrown it out.
Peter.
I think I threw it out.
Well, you missed out. It was very good.
I've been doing really good on not having a massive amount of sugar, and I feel a lot better because of it. And if there's one thing I know about brownies, there's a lot of sugar in them.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, they do. I'd have taken that off your hands. I'm willing to take the bullet and eat the sugar for you.
All right, I'll remember that for next time.
Yeah, somebody at work came over with some equipment for somebody to use to work with, and he handed it to him. I don't use that same equipment in my area, so I'm like, all right, he got that, so did you bring me candy or something? At least make it even?
Was it Tony?
No.
Oh.
No, but then I was like, I just want some chocolate or something. And then shortly after that, Matt comes over and says, yeah, I'm going to be baking some brownies. I'm like, wow, I thought you read my mind.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know.
So,
still just thinking about the car wreck.
Yeah, that car's messed up. Sorry, Peter. He just worked on it.
He did. He just put probably close to $2,000 into it. Suspension and exhaust and trans something or other.
So what does it identify as?
Exactly. I think it was like 2 or 3 days that he had it in the garage.
Yeah, I remember.
He's like, yeah, at least it wasn't your car. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I have insurance. I'm sure that guy has insurance because it's illegal not to, so he has to have it.
Oh, yeah, because nobody would get away with driving without insurance.
But there was insurance on the car the cops gave me.
I'm kidding.
I also have uninsured and underinsured, so even if they didn't, I still have everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. I figured it was a matter of time before somebody just creamed one of the cars that was parked there.
Yeah.
Especially, we'll sit out there sometimes and just watch, like, 10 cars in a row blow the stop sign after, like, 11.
But you would think that as he's going towards the car, at some point he tried to hit the brakes. Didn't even bother to try to hit the brakes. Just slammed into that car.
Yeah.
Full, whatever speed he was going.
Probably around 30 or 40, what I would guess.
I'd be going pretty fast if we moved the other car so far.
Yeah. Peter's like, yeah, I didn't leave the e-brake on. I'm like, that wouldn't have mattered, bro. It's an automatic. It's in park.
Yeah.
And it moved that far.
Yeah.
Like, the e-brake wouldn't have done shit.
And, he's at work just thinking about the car.
Oh, he was mad. I was debating on whether to tell him immediately or not. That's why I was like, yeah, I should call him.
That's all he's probably thinking about. He's probably telling people about it at work right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so.
He said he called the insurance company already before they even fucking fully towed the shit out. Because he wanted to get a jump on it. I'm like, why would you? I got it.
They can't get a jump. They have to get all the information.
Yeah. No, like, Peter wanted to get a jump on it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But
I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, that's okay. Gave him the paperwork when I finally got it from the cops after everything was done after an hour and a half.
He was doing his due diligence.
Yeah, I don't know. He was definitely angry.
So I did see another interesting occurrence happen downtown. I was at Save Mart, the grocery store.
Yeah.
Walking through one of the aisles, and these two people were walking near me, and they were seeming a little off, a little odd. The way they were walking and talking and ducking behind corners and shit like that. Like, as soon as I went down to an aisle, they went over to the next one. Like they were trying to hide behind something. As they were leaving, I saw the lady try to stop her and look in her purse for the stuff that she was stealing, apparently. And then they said something about the guy that was with her, and they're like, yeah, he's not even allowed in the store. He's been banned. Yeah.
Weird. That's weird.
Well, not for downtown. It's not. That's very, very normal.
No, not people getting banned, that he didn't listen to it.
Oh,
You're banned. You have to follow the rules.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was only banned from a Kmart back in Nebraska 7 times. For life.
For what?
Various mischief.
Uh-huh.
All
right. There's 7. Ready, go.
I don't remember all of them. I was with somebody one day, and they had this board game. It's called Mr. Game Show Host. They had this like dome over it so it could be on display, and you could see a demo of it. And my friend that I was with decided it'd be funny to bop the thing on the head, and he bopped it, and the protective thing around it bowed in, and he literally bopped it on the head. So Mr. Game Show Host went from being animated to just sitting there, and the words would come out, and his jaw wouldn't even fucking move. So they banned us for that.
There's 6 more.
There was a time that I was playing volleyball over the aisles. I'm pretty sure I rode a bike through there once, because that's what I used to do. I used to ride bikes through places. I was there another time, and somebody decided to steal some cigarettes. It wasn't me.
Uh-huh.
He stuffed them in his pants, and as we're walking out, I can't say to him, security's coming up behind you. He's saying, yeah, don't forget I got the... I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just keep walking. He's like, that thing. I'm like, just keep walking. And he taps himself in the crotch. I'm like... And security's like, all right, both you two come with me. So we go back in the back office, and we're back there, and the police come in, and the police are like... After we're sitting there, he's talking to us. This guy's trying to scare the shit out of us, and I'm like, whatever. And police officer says, okay, what'd he take? And he's like, oh, he stole 3 packs of cigarettes. And he turns, he looks at me, points at me, and says, what did he take? He said, oh, nothing. I just look at him as an accomplice. He goes, oh, so he didn't take anything? He's like, no. Then you can't keep him. And he's like, you're free to go. And I was told to never go back to that particular store again. I can't remember what the other. I know it was 7 times. So just generally, I actually rode the bikes from the store in the store, not just my bike around the store.
Yeah, no, that's what I figured you meant.
But no, I've also done it where I took my bike into a store and rode it, and exited, being chased by security on the way out.
That was 4. You need 3 more.
Like I said, just general mischief overall. The bicycle, we were playing the volleyball, and I spiked, those balloons with the band, the rubber band on them. You can smack them like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I spiked it, and it caught the top of the shelf, and it just pop. It was loud as fuck. So there was that. Yeah, they didn't like me there.
That's great.
But 7 times.
Yeah.
I was also banned from from one of the malls for life.
You get banned from a mall.
Well, I was over by Annie Ann's, whatever the pretzel place is, and the stress test machine stole my quarter, and I broke it. And I was banned from there for life. I was not supposed to ever go back there again.
Back there next week?
The next year, I was actually working across the street, across the hall from the pretzel place. So,
yeah,
I'm living proof that people don't always follow their lifetime ban.
I don't know that
I probably shouldn't have been banned from as many places I have been.
But I mean, most people aren't going to be like, oh, I know this guy, like they have a picture of fucking 18 people on the wall. We can't let these people in here. Look at it every morning for the morning meeting. Like it's the FBI's most fucking wanted list. Yeah. Be like, you better not let any of these people in. They stop people at the door like, okay, you're not him. Go ahead.
Well, the joke's on them because now I won't go back to that store again because even if I go back to Omaha and visit,
Kmart's closed.
It's out of business. So
see what happens.
See, they win. I can't go back.
Yeah, I think I've gotten.
I think I was banned from a skating place too.
I think I got banned from Kmart for stealing a pair of earbuds. Then they caught me. But because I was 17, they said, because you're almost an adult, we don't have to blah, blah, blah. It's kind of sketchy. They made me pay like $150 and like give the shit back. So that security guard might have just pocketed my $150 and not called the cops, which that's fine because they didn't call the cops.
That's called a bribe. That's illegal.
Well, statute of limitations is up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then I was almost 86th from the cannery for a hotel party that I went to. And right when they started taking pictures of everybody and they were going to like take a picture of you, take a picture of your ID, the digital camera died.
Nice.
And this was in 2008, 2010, something. So it definitely didn't have, like everybody didn't have great pictures, great cameras on their phones. So the digital camera died. They're like, you're just going to have to trust us. You're all banned for life.
I had an incident with a hotel party. That's another place I've been banned from is that hotel. But the thing is that they went there to break up this hotel party, and the police were there and everything to break it up. And they go into the door and they're looking specifically for me, like they asked for me by name at this party. But me and some other people had left to go get something or do something, and then come back.
Yeah.
Well, so it's a good thing I left because they couldn't be like, oh, you're at this party illegally because I wasn't at the party. If they looked for me and I was not there. So
you came back and...
no. After they threw everybody out,
Oh, you just didn't go back?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it had something to do with, like there was a father of a daughter, of this girl that was supposed to go there to see me, and this guy did not want his daughter anywhere near me. Yeah, he made it very clear on the phone when he was talking to me.
Oh.
And I made it very clear that I didn't care what he had to say. So, yeah, he definitely had something to do. He was there with the police, apparently.
Sounds like a nice fella.
Yeah. He told me how he came to there was a hotel party before, and he showed up, and he told me how him and his Samoan friends were going to come into the hotel and kick my ass.
Nice.
And I'm like,
yeah,
why don't you do it yourself? Why do you need to call your Samoan buddies? Tell me how big his Samoan friends are. I was so small and skinny back then. I'm like, you need to call friends or what? I don't understand.
I've been thinking recently, I think it's a lot of the TV shows I watch, well, and kind of how I grew up. I think I want to move back to a small town.
I just don't want to have a place where there's bad weather.
I mean, there's bad weather everywhere.
Well, I don't want, well, I live here, there's snow here. But I just don't want the cold. Like in Nebraska, the cold there is different from the cold here.
Yeah.
The wind chill factor, all that, just sucks.
Yeah, so I haven't decided if I want small town or if I want it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Friendly small.
Yeah, if it's small town, it's going to be not here.
Yeah.
Not Northern Nevada. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just miss the neighborliness. Like everybody being cordial and nice to each other and
Being friendly.
hospitality, friendliness.
I'm not used to it anymore.
Like home cooked meals and shit. Like it doesn't matter if you go to the restaurant or not. It's a home cooked meal, basically.
I've been assimilated. I'm not used to the kindness of strangers.
I think it took me a little bit to get back into it, but
There's some smaller towns like everybody waves at each other.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a little weird to me when I first saw that. Because even where I'm from, Omaha is not huge, but you can't wave at everybody. There's too many people around you.
Yeah, no. But like one of the towns I grew up in, I think now has 4,000 or 5,000 people. So when I grew up there, in like 90, 93, like 95-ish,
Yeah.
I would guess they probably had half that. So around 2,000 people. Like, I think you can wave at everybody with 2,000 people.
I remember there was a town in Nebraska that we used to see when we'd be driving west, and it was like 800 plus and growing. And that sign was always there. It never changed. Like, shouldn't you hit 900 at some point?
Maybe they all died.
I don't know. But there was also another town called Beaver Crossing, Nebraska. It's in the same spot. The beaver hasn't moved anywhere.
Huh.
You think it'd get a little bit further?
Well, I mean, there's Beaver, Utah, so maybe it crossed. That's just where the crossing was.
All right. Yeah, that's in the right direction. Yeah, but it sometimes you can find some interesting, unusual things in smaller areas in different states. There's a golf course in Nebraska where it's there's no grass. It's all, and it's just very unusual. Like at one point you have to hit the ball into like a horse trough type thing.
That's
and
called a mini
green
golf course.
No, but this is actually, you go from a tee box through a hole. You don't just putt.
So
you have to chip it up into this thing to be able to putt it.
So it's a macro golf course.
It's
not mini.
They don't have a lot of water,
bigger.
so they made it out of the ordinary. Like like you're hitting off of sand and stuff like that. It's hard to explain. It's really weird.
Huh.
And then like as you're driving along, there's like these. Of course, there's truck stops everywhere, but there's one that looks like a giant covered wagon.
I just saw a shirt today that said "World's Largest Truck Stop." It's in Walcott, Iowa, on the I-80.
I've heard of Walcott, Iowa. Never heard of the truck stop.
Good for you for having the biggest truck stop, first of all. Why does it matter if it's the world's biggest truck stop?
Get people to want to stop.
Guess what I'm not going to do if I go through Iowa?
Stop.
Yeah, who cares?
Unless you need gas.
I'd rather go to a Buc-ee's in Texas. See what those are all about. 'Cause everybody won't shut up about them.
Well, why would Baker have a sign for the world's largest thermometer?
Yeah, because that's neat.
You can see it from the freeway.
Yeah, you can tell when it's 130 degrees in almost Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
I've actually stopped at that gas station.
It's like saying world's smallest car, and it's a micro machine, but it's in your basement in a like a tornado shelter in Kansas. Nobody's going to drive out to Kansas just to see the world's smallest car that's a Micro Machine.
And they're probably thinking that people on their way home, driving to someplace else, are going to want to stop there instead of a different truck stop because it's the world's largest. You're going to have to stop someplace.
Yeah. But
you might as well see the world's largest.
Then you're going to have to drive through. The only way I would go is if you drive up and down the aisles. Then it's the biggest because you have to drive through the store to get what you want. That would be fucking
cool.
That would be something to see and visit.
Yeah.
You want to know what?
What?
I doubt that's what they do.
I doubt it.
Doubt.
I bet they have a lot of showers.
I would hope so.
But Iowa, that reminds me, I did see a police video recently. I forgot about. It happened to be in Iowa. It was in Carroll, Iowa, which I've actually been to Carroll, Iowa. It's a small area. This guy is on the hood of an alleged perpetrator's car, and he's got his gun pointed at him. He's saying, "Stop the car! Stop the car!" This guy apparently did not take him seriously because he drove with the police officer on his car. And they kept going. And at one point, you see the police officer actually on the roof of the car, holding on, trying not to fall off.
I was waiting for you to say, like, he sped up and the policeman just, like, fell off.
No, he went quite a ways before the policeman fell off. The video ended. All I heard was the other police officer, because you were watching it from the police officer chasing him's camera. And you could hear him say, "I need a medic," or "I need."
Yeah.
And then it just ended.
Huh.
So I don't know what happened to the officer in Carroll. If anybody knows that's listening, go ahead and let us know. But yeah, it was crazy. But at one point, I'm like, you got your gun on him, and he's not stopping.
Yeah.
I'm like, why aren't you shooting him before it gets out of control, before it's going too fast?
Yeah, cops have, not that it's okay. Cops have shot people over a plastic butter knife.
Yeah.
He was charging me. That bro's charging you with a car. I think you can get away with it that time.
Yeah. I mean, he's on top of the car, and that's obviously...
Oh, one of the cops, when we were dealing with all this accident shit out front...
Yeah.
Because the guy that hit the car got arrested.
Yeah.
And at one point there was a bit of unruliness between him, his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's sister.
Yeah.
And they were arguing about something. There was a couple cops like, I don't care what you're trying to do. Like, do it over there. Like, get over there. Like, go away from us further than you are now. And one of the cops was like, "You ever seen somebody get tased before?" I was like, "Nope, not in person." Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that cop that stayed and talked, there's a decent sense of humor.
Yeah.
Pretty cool seeming guy.
Yeah, he did seem cool. Yeah, I would have liked to see that. I've seen people get tased on YouTube, but not in person.
Yeah, nobody got tased though.
Man, it's a shame. But I saw that the guy who hit the car, he was in handcuffs.
Yeah, he was all bloody on his nose and shit.
I saw the ambulance show up.
Looked like he hit the steering wheel or something.
Mm.
Yeah,
he didn't want help, though.
No.
He had to sign a form saying, "Nope, I don't want the ambulance to help me."
Yeah, and I think he declined the breathalyzer or the field sobriety test or whatever, too. So
it sounded like he was doing the alphabet when he was sitting there, so I don't know.
Oh,
I was trying to listen to him, but the fucking fire truck kept driving past. I'm like, just stop for a second. I just want to hear him. Shut it off.
So I called 911 from my phone. If you go into my calls, 911 is not there. Which kind of makes sense. But like, if you're trying to hide the fact that you called 911 because if you're in an issue situation, that's cool. Otherwise... what if I need to know what time I called?
Yeah, like you were actually looking to see what time it was when you noticed it wasn't there today.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I get it. And like, then I saw the notification that said, for 2 hours after an emergency call, all phone numbers are unblocked. Which I was talking about, like, makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you were abducted, kidnapped, or I don't know, whatever situation, that like say you block the first 5 people that this person's going to call, you block their numbers from their phone.
Yeah.
So now they don't know who to get a hold of. But if that person can manage to dial 911, now all those numbers are unblocked and they can get reached.
Yeah.
So kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of.
When you think about that one, but the time one, I would say it would have to be so that you can't see that somebody just called.
Yeah. In case there's somebody you wouldn't want to know that you
Yeah.
just called it. Yeah. I know. I never looked at it when because I called 911 one day when I was downtown. There was
The shadow people were after you?
no, not this time.
Oh.
No, there was a homeless gentleman down there who was having a diabetic issue.
Ah.
So I called an ambulance to get him and hopefully help him.
Nice.
But I don't recall looking and seeing if it was in my history because I didn't need
Definitely
to know
not
what
where I
time it
thought that story was going.
was. No, I don't know where you thought it was going to go. I
It's
wasn't getting robbed.
downtown and there's a bunch of crackheads.
Yeah.
If you saw one crackhead stab another crackhead, you'd probably still call 911.
Oh yeah. I always like to call is when it's somebody calling saying like things like he stole my crack.
Yeah, those videos are great. The wild 911 calls and
Well, the one of my favorite, the people they had some special brownies, and they decided it didn't kick in, so they decided to eat more brownies and more brownies. Then they called the police and like we're gonna die because they ate so many brownies. They felt like they were gonna die, and they're talking to the police. Turns out that they're telling the police about the weed that they just ingested, and at least one of them's an officer also.
at least one of them was an officer.
Well, at the time he called, he was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I don't know.
How do
It's
you
a
not,
good. It's a.
like even if you're in that situation.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Right, but even if you're in that situation, hey, I'm going to call my best friend, Paul, who's also a cop, and see if he can help us without telling anybody.
You know, they called 911. They called
Yeah,
dispatch.
no, I'm like, why would you not, like, call the buddy?
Yeah.
Call the friend that you know isn't going to cause issues.
Maybe he doesn't have any friends on the force.
Well, then he needs to call somebody else.
Maybe he's a clean cop, and I just don't want.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, these brownies are really fucking good.
Yeah, that was just like I said. That was one of my favorite calls. There's a lot of those 911 calls that are really good. And then there's the ones that are actually like they'll have some little kid will call and end up saving somebody's life because they managed to be able to dial 911, which they say it's always, whenever I see a news story like that, they're like, oh, this is so great. This brave kid called 911.
Yeah.
I'm like, every year I was in elementary school, they told us how to fucking call 911. Okay, so this kid would have learned this. And even in kindergarten, they told us about 911.
Yeah.
They even had a police officer come in and talk to us about 911. So yeah, I would hope he'd be able to do it. And it's 3 numbers. It's not hard to... And if you can't remember those numbers, you know what you do? You dial operator 0.
OPE.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you could dial operator.
Yeah.
You could call 0 now. I don't think it's going to do anything.
I don't think it will. Yeah. I didn't think, yeah. But a lot of times, some of the times I saw a story that was still operator. And there was a lot of people calling things like 411 too.
Yeah.
When I lived in Omaha at one point, we had time and temperature. There was a telephone number you could call, and it would give you the time and the temp.
There
So
used to be phone numbers you could call for, like, the joke of the day.
Yeah. Well, the time and temperature number, it was funny because the first 3 numbers always had to be the same. And the last 4 numbers, you could literally type any one you want.
Huh.
Like it was like 864, and then the last 4 could be anything. Like I had always dialed it 864-1111 because that's what I was always told it was. Then I actually started doing 1234.
That's interesting.
I tried all sorts of different numbers with it, and it always got me time and temp.
Huh.
It was a good way, you know, if your phone for some reason was out and you wanted to see if it was back and it was working again, dial that.
Phone was out.
Yeah, like at one point there was a radio contest in Omaha, and it was the prize was a McLaren. So you can guess that a lot of people wanted to win this.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the radio, and they had to play 3 songs in a row. And if they played those 3 songs in a row, you dial the radio station, and you had to be the 92nd caller, and you win the car.
Huh.
Well, everybody picked up their phones all at the same time, and, like, it had no service. Like, you couldn't dial, like, every once in a while I could dial out, but I couldn't. Then I wouldn't get a dial tone, and then I'd get it, and then I wouldn't.
Yeah.
It was up and down, which I couldn't have won anyway. I was under 18. So it was a waste of time to even try. But yeah, still, I thought it would have been cool to win a McLaren.
There used to be a trick for radio call-ins like that, because like if you call from a Cisco, like an office setup Cisco phone,
Yeah.
that has its own extension to another, like they probably use Cisco or Avaya,
Yeah.
for theirs, you have a way higher chance of getting the call through Cisco to Cisco, or at least it was in like 2010.
Yeah, this was before then.
Yeah, but that used to be a trick I had to get through, was call from, like, we'd have, at the job I had at the time, we'd have 3 of us sit there and call from our own extension and call in for the radio, and one of us would always get through.
Yeah.
Because I think it had something to do with how the Cisco setup works.
I know that my sister used to win things all the time. I'd won a couple things. Not much. Like I won a T-shirt.
I think I've won 2 or 3 things from radio call-ins, but I don't think I've ever gone and picked them up, because it's always been like I lived in super far Henderson, and the station was at like Russell and the 215.
Yeah.
On the far side. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to get that.
See, one time it wasn't a call-in, but I won something from a radio station. They were right across. I was right across the street from where I worked at the time, and I was waiting in line to pay for my gas. There was so many people in this gas station at a weird time of day, and I looked to my right. There was a thing. You fill out the little thing. It's a raffle. You fill it out. You put the thing in there, and they draw your name, and you win something. I actually got a phone call at work. I got to work, and they're like, "Hey, you got a phone call." I'm like, what? So I found out I won a radio contest, and it was coincidentally for Labor Day weekend. They gave me like a package of hot dog buns, case of beer, some Arizona iced tea.
Nice.
Case of Arizona iced tea. I drink the shit. I love that. That was so good.
When I worked at Food for Less, I would always get the gallon jugs of Arizona so I could just keep it in the locker. And then I always had an angel food cake that would be marked down so I can just like pick at it. And yeah. Angel food cake and Arizona iced tea is how I got through most days. This
was the raspberry, and it was the big plastic bottles.
Yeah. Like
a case of the plastic bottles. It was nice. I mixed it with some...
I miss Sobe.
Oh, I missed the Sobe Rain.
Sobe was so fucking good.
It had some good drinks.
Glass bottle, fucking Blizzard milk, the one that was like greenish white.
See, I never had that one.
It was good.
I had the Rain. It was clear.
There was a bunch of them, because they would often go to like 40 or 60 cents.
Yeah.
So I'd get like 30 or 40 of them and have them all day, every day at college.
Yeah, I like those a lot. They're gone.
Yep.
And I miss some of the things that Snapple used to have, too.
I feel like Snapple used to be a lot better.
It was. And they also had sodas. They had one that was a cherry lime Ricky. It was so good.
What is a Ricky?
I don't know, but it was cherry lime.
Is that Ricky. Just how they pronounce RC?
No. It was literally spelled out Ricky.
Snapple and RC did a crossover. Oh. It's a cherry and lime Ricky. RC.
No, because RC stands for Royal Cola.
No, it's Ricky.
I assure you this was spelled the same way that...
Ricky.
That was good, though. I used to drink their raspberry tea. I used to drink strawberry kiwi juice thing that they had.
Maybe we don't have to come up with a new drink. Maybe we can just bring Sobeys back.
Yes. And at least make it for ourselves.
Figure out who owns the... I wonder how you look that up.
That's a good question.
Who owns the rights to certain recipe lists for fucking drinks?
Yeah, I would like to have that again.
Because that's the original NOS was really good. And then Coca-Cola bought them and they changed the flavor. And then I think it was like 2 years after that, the original guy from NOS started his own company again.
Yeah.
With his original recipe again, because Coca-Cola changed it, so he had permission to use his own recipe again.
What do you call it?
I can't remember. I'm pretty upset that I can't remember because it was really good. But I don't think it's any of the ones that are still decent and out now.
Oh.
Because Ironclad had an energy drink in 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And that was really fucking good. The same company that makes like the gloves at Home Depot and shit.
Yeah.
Ironclad had a really good fucking energy drink.
Nice.
And then just stopped.
What, does Redline still exist? I know the company that made Redline.
I think so.
Makes Bang.
I think it does.
Bang Bang. And they have a warning on it saying not to buy it if you're under 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Prime. And then Logan Paul got yelled at and he's getting sued because it's not for children.
Well, because people are thinking it's the hydration and not the energy, and they're buying it for their kids anyway.
Well, no, it's because their kids' parents aren't intelligent, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they refuse to do any thinking for their kid. And their kid says, hey, Mom, this is Logan Paul's drink. I want it. Give me. And they say, okay.
But wait, but if somebody's smart enough to be able to have a child, they should be able to know the difference, shouldn't they?
No.
Doesn't it make you special if you're a parent?
Ricky.
Only billions of people before have done it. I mean,
Cherry Lime Ricky.
not Ricky. It's a thing. Look it up. It's a real thing.
I was just saying that for like the kid and or you have to be smart enough kind of thing.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody named Ricky, middle name Cherry Lime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, first name Cherry, middle name.
Middle name
Lime.
Ricky.
How about Ricky Bobby?
Yeah.
Best driver of all time.
Yeah, I need to do something with this TV. Either swap it out with another one or something because this TV puts off so much fucking heat. I was uploading the podcast earlier today before Mike got here, and I left the TV on. It was nice in here. And then we get up here after post-accident, everything. Get up here, and it's fucking warm in this room. So,
warm.
apparently having... I don't remember how old the TV is. Probably like... It's an LCD from like 09, 010. Like, it's definitely old, but it's an LCD. I didn't think... Unless it's a plasma that it put off that kind of
Still
fucking
works.
heat. Yeah, it works. It looks good.
But that reminds me, I was watching Kentucky Ballistics yesterday, and he had this guy. He's one of the people who does the strongest man in the world competitions.
Yeah.
So of course he's sizable. What they're doing is they were seeing what it does to the kickback of a gun when you have somebody that big and strong, and it was comparing when he would shoot it as compared to when Scott would shoot it as compared to the strongest man in the world would shoot it. And there was a big difference. But they were talking about how hot it was in Kentucky when they were doing this. And the world's strongest man guy, I'm telling you, he was his whole shirt soaking wet the entire video.
Jesus Christ.
He had to be just fucking miserable. You had to see, like, they were shooting big guns. Like, the last gun they shot was a 4-bore. The bullet was it was like 2,166 grain.
I've never heard of a 4-bore.
Oh, it's fucking crazy. It's a full inch diameter. And this thing
I mean, that's
the barrel.
That's pretty big. I mean,
But I
would imagine it's a bigger bullet and everything than 12-gauge slugs, but that's about the size of a 12-gauge.
But think about this. A 50 BMG is about 660 grain. This thing is 2,166 grain.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of grain info.
It means it's huge.
I'm not a farmer.
Yeah, I'm a lead farmer.
Uh-huh.
I know you've had to see the movie that that's from.
Maybe not. What?
The war about the movie about the fake war about the Oh shit!
Use your words.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely seen it.
He pulls out his guns. He's like, "I'm a lead farmer," and he starts shooting his
Oh,
blanks.
I definitely don't remember that. I think I've only seen it twice. It's funny, but
I only saw it like twice last year. So.
it's not one of the movies that I can just recall everything from like normal.
I fucking love that movie. Yeah, it's just funny when he pulls out the guns and he's, "I'm a lead farmer." It was really good.
Huh.
And that was Robert Downey Jr. saying that.
I figured.
Yeah.
Figured it wasn't going to be Simple Jack.
No. Speaking of Simple Jack, have you seen Simple Jack lately?
I haven't.
Neither have I. I was going to ask you about that this last
It's been a
week.
while.
Yeah.
Nobody read into that. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Some Offense Intended, and Twitter at Some Offense Pod. Don't hit your neighbor's cars.
One last thing I want to mention. You know that Jabba the Hutt thing that they had on that's been all over the memes.
Yeah, Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah, Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah.
I saw today a video of it where instead of Jabba the Hutt, it was Optimus Prime voice.
It's not as funny.
It's not funny at all. It's like, most of the comments were, "How dare you do that to Optimus Prime?"
So I get it because Optimus Prime is a Transformer. That's where the cleverness ends.
That's it.
It's not. It's
No.
yeah.
And
Yeah, and every time I see it, I'm like, because expecting the Jabba one, and I'll watch it to fucking laugh again.
yeah,
And then it's Optimus Prime, and I'm like, I just wasted that fucking 3 seconds.
I watched it. I'm like, I'm not. This is not enjoyable at all. I did not like it.
Yeah.
And what did Optimus Prime do to anybody? Gorlock, it'd be better just to hear nothing. They could have had Bumblebee and just been silent.
All right. Well, I can't think of anything else.
Nope, I am out.
Talk to you next week. Goodbye.